Hello everyone and welcome to Thursday Live Lessons. My name is Aldrine Guerrero and joining me as usual is Mr. Aaron the Voice Nakamura. Say what's up, Aaron.
What's up?
And we have Kahai the Legend Fergan. Say what's up, Kahai.
What's up?
So in a surprising turn of events, we actually don't have any questions today. So we didn't get any questions via email or anything like that. So we're just going to have, a nice little discussion. Also, we want to say thank you so much for those of you folks listening to us via podcast. So if you guys downloaded this on iTunes or Stitcher or wherever it is that podcasts, I don't know where people download. Where do people download podcasts, Kahai? You're in with the young kids. You're in tune with the young kids.
Kids.
Where do the kids download their podcasts nowadays?
What is it? The AirPod radios.
So thank you so much for listening to this. For all of you U Plus subscribers, thank you so much for subscribing to Ukulele Underground Plus, and thanks for watching the live video. So because we are live, there is a chat. So please utilize the chat and ask us any questions that you would like. Ask me. I'll give you the best answer as best as I can, and the other two guys over here will be chiming in with their 2 cents, and we'll try to answer your question to our best ability. Okay. So before we even get started with our discussion and stuff, I kind of wanted to bring up a brand new addition to Thursday Live Lesson.
We have a couple things actually.
Oh yeah. So how about you kick it off, Kahai? Tell us about one of those things.
We actually just started putting up. We put up last week's Thursday Live Lesson this week on YouTube as an audio only podcast. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if you don't have iTunes or you don't have any of the other ways to get a podcast and it's like, oh, how can I listen to it? You can find it on our YouTube channel.
Yeah. So now pretty much everything's on YouTube. Like we were kind of anti-YouTube in the beginning, we didn't have like anything on our YouTube channel. We just had like the play-alongs and stuff. And then we slowly started uploading everything and updating everything. I remember for a while there, you were uploading all like the Uke Minutes episodes, and we had like over 100 of those.
Yeah,
150
because they weren't originally on YouTube.
No,
when we started,
everything was on. What is V?
We started with Vidler.
Vidler. I was like, V starts with a V. Yeah, Vidler, and then we were experimenting with a bunch of different ones, and then that's kind of where like. We can't escape this YouTube thing. YouTube is like a huge monster. Yeah. Like we tried to like, be not one of the cool kids like that use YouTube, and everyone was utilizing YouTube and stuff. And including myself, I had my own YouTube channel then, but I stopped kind of uploading there, and just now we have an Ukulele Underground YouTube channel, which is, how often would you say things are uploaded to the YouTube channel, Kahai?
Weekly, like
at least, right?
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah, we're
getting to almost like every day, right? Like every other day is something.
That's crazy.
We try to upload like certain lessons. We'll do like Mondays or Tuesdays, and then Wednesdays is Matt's webcam sessions go up. And then Thursdays is this and Songs Made Easy, and then Fridays is the jam.
Friday, yeah.
And then
there's something going on
throughout the week. All the replays are also going up too. So there's always something going up.
Yeah. So if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe to Ukulele Underground or Uke Underground.
I think it's just Ukulele. I think it'll just be youtube.com/Ukulele Underground.
Yeah. So if you haven't subscribed yet, be a subscriber. But you know what? As a UU Plus, subscriber, you pretty much get all the videos anyway, right? They'll get everything on their dashboard, and it's awesome. So for those of you folks who are not signed up for UU Plus, subscribe to that.
Yeah.
And just subscribe to YouTube. I'd rather have you subscribe to UU Plus.
And if anything ever happens to our YouTube channel, it's like, oh no, we have still have everything here. Yeah. Like so,
fret
you guys
not. Fret not if Google somehow goes down. Fret not, your youth lessons
meteor crashes into Google headquarters and all of its supporting other headquarters simultaneously, then it's like, oh, we're still good. Still running.
Few meteors came down and knocked out all of them.
Pinpoint targeted Google.
All right, so Kahai, what's our second announcement for today? Aaron, you tell us our second announcement.
So we set up a voicemail account. So if you guys want to call in your questions and just kind of kind of prepare a question and then read it on voicemail, or like I don't know if you have it in mind already and just want to ask.
So it's just other ways that they can kind of communicate with us.
Yeah,
and I think we'll if you guys do this, I think we're even planning to play the voicemail.
Yeah, we'll play the voicemail on the
this
pod,
show.
So if you want to get on the show, that's one way to get on there. Call right now your questions to 650-761-0989, I believe. Once again, it's 650-761-0989. 650-761-0989. Got it.
We had to get a San Francisco number because they didn't have extension support in Hawaii.
We're just as cool as 808, right? Just as cool.
We couldn't get an 808 number. Yeah.
Like Pied Piper, So I was thinking about stuff today. I actually brought this CD and I was going to give it away today. I'm going to give away one today and one on Friday. So this is Ola Ka'aina. This is the Kanilea 20-year anniversary CD. So the Ola Ka'aina, I don't want to say it wrong. It's like if the land lives, because it's the full quote is Ola Ka'aina, Ola Ka Kanaka. Like if the land lives and the people live, something like that. Yeah. So, so this is their 20-year anniversary. It's it features a bunch of Kanilea artists, such as myself, Craig Chisara Mizell. They've been on the show a few times. We have people from we have songs from Kapena. We have songs from Ken Makuakane. We have songs from Sam Langi and Vaihi. And Ben Vegas, Mila Gibson. Mila is a Kauai native, that she grew up here, and I remember watching her when I was when I was a kid or growing up. Cody Pueo, he's an awesome hula instructor from Oahu, but it's amazing. Willie K also is on the CD, so awesome. Carly G, my favorite track by far. You gotta listen to that track.
Yeah, you were talking about.
My goodness, I can't believe that's not the first name that I said. Carly G, good. Huh?
Can you look at the album and say what the name is? Is it listed there somewhere on the album?
What do you mean?
On the back or something?
Oh yeah,
is there a track listing?
Yeah, so it's a song called For You by Carly G. So we're gonna try to feature her again. In the near future, actually, we're gonna try to get her back to do a lesson. So this, I'm gonna be giving this away to one of you folks today, or anyone watching the watching the replay. So let's come up with a contest right now, but it has to be kind of visual so that it's for the people watching from UU Plus. So let's see. Come on, Kai, give me some ideas. So it's a visual contest. Why don't you draw something, and people will be like, "Oh, what is that drawing?" I don't know.
What is that?
Okay, we're gonna think of something, but for now, let's discuss some ukulele related stuff, because this is an ukulele podcast, or it's an ukulele show. So let's go to the live chat. Do we have any questions in the live chat, Kahai?
Yeah. So Alan.
Alan from NorCal.
Yeah, okay, not
Alan.
Okay, yeah. Not Colorado Alan.
Yeah, we have to make that distinction. He said to strap or not to strap. That is the question.
Ooh, okay. To strap or not to strap? If you here's just my opinion. Okay, that's not going to be correct for everyone, but for my opinion, if you perform a lot and if you stand up a lot when you perform, I would suggest getting a strap. A strap is going to affect the sound of your ukulele, and we've talked about this before. First, the strap is either here or here at the neck. So here where the neck meets the body, or at the neck, and you also have to have another one here. This is actually where I plug in, so that's where the strap connects to. We have an entire episode, I think, dedicated to this stuff. But the strap is going to make a difference because you're drilling holes. You're going to you're going to affect the sound of your ukulele. It's not going to sound like, I guess, when you first got it undrilled. It is going to affect that. So
Slightly. I mean,
Yeah,
not,
slightly,
not
like slightly. But if you
noticeably, but
if you're not gonna do that, I wouldn't even like tamper with it, that kind of thing. Like if I'm not performing out there, you can hold your ukulele up comfortably, without a strap. And I mean, as long as you're not playing for like an hour or 2 hours or something, straight standing up, then I don't think you really need a strap. So if the question is to strap or not to strap, instead of like what kind of strap should I put on, or should I drill holes or not, my answer to that would be exactly that. If you perform, if you're going to be standing up for for long periods of time when you play your ukulele, maybe even not performing, maybe if you're just one of those guys that like to stand and play their ukes and stuff, then I would highly suggest getting a strap. If not, don't do it. Don't compromise your wood, and yeah. What do you think, Kai?
I think some people ask, or like some people say like, oh, I can't support my ukulele, so I'm gonna get a strap.
Yeah.
Like thinking that a strap will help them, but it really is like kind of in those situations, like standing, it would mostly help you. But like if you're sitting down and it can help you. Like there is people who say like, oh, it does help, and it's not worth discrediting it.
Yeah.
But I also know you can get a strap and you can still have a hard time supporting your uke. Yeah. Because a lot of like supporting your ukulele, if you have a hard time, a lot of that is with the fundamentals,
just
like
arm positioning.
Yeah. And I mean, you make a good point. I know a lot of people that use straps even sitting down and stuff. It just feels more comfortable for them. Sometimes I do that myself, but for the most part, if you're sitting down, it's good to kind of brush up on like holding your ukulele properly while sitting down, so that you don't need a strap. Because if you're using a strap, then that means like somewhere like down the line, your the way that you're holding your ukulele might not be working as well. But then again, everyone has different body shapes too. So sometimes people, like I know, how do I say this as PC as I can? Like women who are curvier, like at the top side, like I guess it's tough because they kind of have to like reach over like this. I wouldn't know, but maybe I would, and I think I'm like a B
on
cup
the bottom side.
on the bottom side. But like sometimes like I some well endowed like women, like it's like right here, so it's tough to like get a comfortable like a comfortable grip on your ukulele. So I get that and stuff. So using a strap so that they don't have to kind of worry about where they're positioning their forearm and stuff. So that that also makes sense. It really is your own choice, but if it's a simple to do or not to do, that would be my reasoning behind it. Is if you're gonna stand up for a long period of time, then go get it. If not, then I don't think you have to. But if you have one of those body types that you don't feel comfortable, holding your ukulele while sitting down, and you think it might help, by all means, go ahead and go do it. Or maybe just try out one of the straps that don't have to drill. Maybe try that first.
The like strap leashes, or
yeah, or all the other ones that we talked
classical
about.
guitar style strap.
Because I would hate for somebody to like drill their uke and then not like not using it that much, like. So yeah,
and like if you have a good ukulele and you have a good luthier or a good person who like installs strap buttons all the time, like it most likely nothing's gonna happen. Like if they're like, oh yeah, I've installed hundreds of strap buttons on ukulele, like you probably trust Joe Souza to do
my strap button
without like without it coming back and being like, why is my ukulele suddenly different? Why does it suddenly sound like a something else? So but like if you're unsure, or if it's like somebody who's gonna do it for the first time, like definitely like maybe just try a strap. Maybe see if there's an ukulele that already has strap buttons installed at a local store, and ask if you can try using it with a strap just to see. But if you do like it, then definitely go to a professional to have it installed, right? Like you can do it yourself, but just to be safe, we always say go to a professional.
That's going to be tough to find somebody that you can trust. But I would suggest checking out the the full discussion of this on the previous Thursday live lesson, because there's a lot of good stuff there. I think we even show off straps and stuff. I think we have
different
like,
types of straps,
different types and stuff. So check that out. Make sure you check that out. Yeah, but hopefully the answer that we gave you today makes you kind of think. Should I get one or should I not get one? Would kind of help you make your decision.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Oh well, Alan also, the other Alan, also said that he uses it. He's a fan of using a strap on his tenor, and he also does perform. So that kind of makes sense. And he said it's less of an issue on my soprano, especially since I mostly strum on the soprano. So you're not really going up to the higher frets on that one. You don't have to be as precise. You're just holding chords and strumming. And it's a lighter instrument. It's a smaller instrument, and you kind of want the freedom to just put it down if you want.
I mean, I became a huge believer of straps. I used to be super anti-strap. Like I had my I think we've talked about this before too. I had my my applause ukulele, my tenor applause ukulele. That thing is like a tank. It is super duper heavy.
And the back is round.
And I played it no strap. I don't know how I did that. And my kamaka.
That one is kind of made to have a strap, and you still didn't play with.
My Kanilea, I think I put a strap on there a year after I got the first Mary Jane prototype, and it was I was playing it strapless. So I used to be no strap. But I'm just okay, well, I'm starting to play longer shows. I was starting to play 2-3 hour shows then, so it's okay, maybe I do need a strap. And I'm getting I'm not a spring chicken anymore, so doing tremolos and stuff I can still do them, but then if I have been kind of holding my ukulele up, with my forearm, and then I'm going to use all forearm to do the, do the tremolo. Then it's just more wear and tear on my forearm, and it gets tiring.
You're saying that you used to do everything that you do
strapless,
without a strap.
No strap. It's
with a tenor ukulele.
With a tenor ukulele, yes. So I mean, there's hundreds of videos on YouTube of when I used to perform with Ryan and stuff, and I had my kamaka, or I had my applause, no strap. I watch it and I'm how the heck did I do all that? Because I think about doing that now. I'm no way I'm gonna do that.
You're so reliant on the strap.
Heck no. I don't know, but I love straps now. So I used to be super anti-strap, but it's no, the uke is so small, you don't even need that. I don't know why. I was young and stupid. So now I've seen the light. I'm where's my strap? There have been times where oh my god, what am I gonna do? I don't have a strap.
So Ariana Grande.
I know who that is, by the way.
Yeah. It said, mentioned Aldrine's uke is named Mary Jane.
Yes.
Is that a Spider-Man reference?
Yes, it is a Spider-Man reference. It is also.
You didn't name any of your ukes Gwen Stacy?
I named my guitar Gwen Stacy. I have a blue Gibson Les Paul name.
You never afraid that the neck is gonna snap?
Give it up to Kai.
One day, I mean, it might be. So Les Pauls, I play Les Pauls too. I was gonna bring this up.
Yeah.
I play Les Paul too, and straps are definitely. If you're standing with a Les Paul, I don't think there's a way you can.
Oh no, heck no.
Hold it.
No way.
And play without a strap.
It's so heavy.
Yeah, but. When I sit down and play, I take the strap off because I'm this thing is getting in the way. I don't need this.
It's more comfortable.
Yeah, but would you ever? You're not worried about dropping it and then grabbing it by the strap and then somehow the force, the momentum just breaks.
We had a good time. I think on Friday, joking around about Spider-Man,
video games.
So it's also not a Spider-Man reference?
Yeah, it's also not a Spider-Man. That's right. Let's finish this question first. It is a Spider-Man reference. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. Yes, Mary Jane is a Spider-Man reference, but it's also a reference to the song CMJ. So I wrote a song called CMJ because a girl that I dated, her screen name was Cinnamon Mary Jane, because I guess it was too long for AOL to put Cinnamon Mary Janes with an S. So the original I guess idea of why she named herself that is because of Mary Jane's shoes, and it was cinnamon colored. So I was that's a very interesting name, Cinnamon Mary Jane. So I like Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
That's
rock.
the,
that's the Spider-Man theme.
People want to know how big of a fan we are, right? How big of a
fan I am. Yeah. I named it after that. So I was a big fan of like Mary Jane, the name Mary Jane. Yeah. So Cinnamon Mary Jane's, Cinnamon Mary Jane, like shoes, and then Cinnamon Mary Jane, then just Mary Jane. But that's what CMJ is about. So people are like, "What is CMJ about? What is Cinnamon Mary Jane?" It's that like a whatever reference? I'm like, no, it's not that. So it's shoes. It's after a girl. I mean, I was young and I was stupid. I've said this already, like today in the same podcast. Like, was that Kai? You gonna say something?
I'm debating if I should really go into all the nerdy stuff, or it's like I was gonna say I would name my instrument Penny Parker.
Penny Parker.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, it's an alternate Peter Parker who, instead of being Spider-Man, she drives a mech suit that's labeled SPDR. So,
did you by the way check out like Japanese Spider-Man? We were talking about this on Friday. I gotta say,
but I did check out Italian Spider-Man.
Really?
Kira has to find all the links for this, right?
Yeah.
All
please
the
put it
international
in the
Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man. I guess I didn't see Italian Spider. What's so different about Italian Spider-Man?
It's terrible.
So it's Japanese Spider-Man, but I love it.
Yeah. I think Italian Spider-Man is like intentionally though. Like they made it just for YouTube, and it's like it's supposed to be kind of like that.
Japanese Spider-Man is supposed to be taken seriously, but it is not to be taken seriously at the same time.
Okay. Anyway.
So, questions again? Any other ukulele questions?
Before we, move on. Alan from NorCal.
Yeah, NorCal Alan.
So at the very beginning too, when he asked about the strap, he asked, is there any straps that you recommend?
I would.
What you use
the
guitar straps?
Yeah, guitar straps. I have, speaking of Spider-Man, I have a Spider-Man like guitar strap that I like to use from PV. It's no longer like available.
Yeah,
those strap buttons.
Once you install strap buttons,
you can pretty much put whatever guitar strap that you want. You can get those nice fancy leather ones. You can get like just a regular, like, I guess nylon. I don't know what that thing is made out of, like nylon strap, or or you can get one of the cloth ones. I've seen those ones. They're kind of skinny. A lot of people like the skinny ones, like for ukulele, because it's smaller. But I've used one. I've got one made by Sarah, and I tried like really hard because I like it a lot. She custom made it for me and stuff. And Spider-Man, of course, there's a bunch of Spider-Man in that. But it's just the small strap. It was just a little bit irritating to my neck.
Like the skinny.
Yeah,
strap,
because it's so skinny. Exactly, because it's like. It's this tiny spot that it's like hanging down on my neck, whereas like the guitar strap is wider, so it's a little bit more comfortable. So I tried my best. Sorry, Sarah, if you're listening to this, I wanted to use your strap for everything, but it was a bit uncomfortable.
Well, when I was a younger musician,
yes,
my aspiration has always been like to be like a punk musician or a ska musician, right? Yeah. So I get those like pretty thin guitar straps, and it's
all the way down.
Yeah, and then like it's like they have like skulls on it, or black and white checkers and stuff. And then like you watch country musicians, and it's like those guys know what's up. They have like the biggest leather straps, and it's just like, now that I've been playing for a while, it's like, oh, those must be so comfortable. I should just get one of those. I should stop trying to not act my age anymore. Not a young one.
So speaking of the Gibson and stuff, I actually, like, when I bought the Gibson, of course it doesn't come with a strap and stuff. I had to buy a strap for the Gibson, and I was like, well, I'd still want to jam my guitar, and like we just said, it's not like you can jam it standing up without a strap. So I grabbed the strap for my ukulele, and I felt like it was gonna break. It was digging so heavy. It was digging in on my shoulder. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so any questions before I move on to a different discussion?
Let me see. We have like a couple of questions. Okay. Where did it go? I lost the question. Okay, so Ariana asked, has Aldrine ever taught uke to any other famous musicians? You don't have to name names.
Yes.
Next question.
Yeah, if I don't have to name names, then yes.
You've taught to famous musicians and also people who
or just famous.
Yeah, famous like not necessarily be known for their music. But then I think there's like not necessarily like famous, but then like Kyle, you know, if you guys have watched our show, like Kyle.
Taught Kyle.
Yeah.
Well, Kyle was already good. I mean, I was just kind of like showing him like tricks and techniques afterwards, but like I can't take credit for like, you know, for Kyle being good. Like Kyle,
and then he went to college and then he learned guitar.
And he got even better. So like, Kyle, I'm kind of scared of you now. You know? Same thing like Matt and stuff. Like, you know, I always say that I was one of Matt's teachers and stuff, but Matt also went to a music school, and you know, he was already pretty good by the time I got to him too. So I can't really take full credit for Matt either. Matt, that was all his hard work.
Who is
mostly like kind of
as a teacher, you can't really take credit for the work that your students put in.
So I can't be like that was all me.
That's really that's the reason why people get good is because they put the time and effort in.
And so I've taught. Yeah.
Oh no. You.
Let's see. What are some that I can? Famous people. I have Pierce Brosnan. I taught him how to play ukulele. So I taught James Bond how to play ukulele.
So, for people who might not know, Pierce Brosnan lives on Kauai sometimes, right?
Yeah.
He has a house here. Yeah. So is that why you taught him? Like he was down here or something?
Well, he was staying at the Hyatt Hotel, and we all know that I was a former employee of the Hyatt Hotel. My rake into the pool. It's a pretty common story by now. That was, so the pool workers were called like recreations and stuff, and that was like our fancy way to say pool boy, basically. And they kind of had the same general manager with the Camp Hyatt, which Camp Hyatt is like the babysitting part, like the guests can drop off their kids and stuff, and they can go do whatever. So if we have too much people recreations, some people go to Camp Hyatt. So I went to Camp Hyatt, and Pierce Brosnan walks in, and he's like, if you could watch my kids. And I'm not gonna talk about my experience with his kids, but it's not easy. But he came back and he's like, "Oh, I heard like you play ukulele and stuff." So we just kind of so I taught him a song. I was like, I taught James Bond. Like I came home and stuff, and I told my dad, like, I taught James Bond how to play surf today. He's like, really? Which one? Roger Moore? I'm like, no, not Roger Moore. Sean Connery? No.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, if it's not Sean Connery, Roger Moore, I don't even want it. That's not James Bond. But yeah, let's see. I think I could say, like, my shirt, the Bob's Burgers guy, I've been teaching him how to play ukulele. I don't think that's a secret either. Lauren Bouchard, close personal friend. Close personal friend, Lauren Bouchard. So I've been giving him lessons, like, and we just started this year. That's been going really well. And some others that have came and gone for the Kauai Music Festival. So Kauai Music Festival gets a lot of people from like BMI, I believe, and their musicians kind of come down and stuff.
There's no Kauai Music Festival anymore.
Oh yeah,
and
anymore.
It's changed to
Hawaii Music Festival.
Yeah, and it's
it's
on Maui, right? I think
Big Island. Kona, I believe.
But there used to be a big festival where they just bring musicians down.
Like big name musicians and stuff. Like the guy from Better Than Ezra, and the guy that used to write music for Evanescence. This lady that wrote for Katy Perry. There's all those guys. So taught a bunch of
songwriting.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, I was I'm gonna brag a little bit here. Like I was featured on a movie, Hotel Transylvania, and the reason that I got that was because the Kauai Music Festival, because the Kauai Music Festival had all these guys with, like, huge connections and stuff, and they're like, hey, you play uke, like Adam Sandler needs a uke player. I'm like, yeah, I'll play uke for Adam Sandler. I'll do it. So it was a very important festival, and I'm kind of bummed that it's no longer here, but it's still on the Big Island, and I just don't have that kind of script. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Kauai is such a small place. It's really hard to do like kind of those kinds of things here.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions?
Ooh, our camera just went down.
Oh, what happened to our camera? No device. No bueno.
Well, this is our closed cam.
Okay, yeah, closed cam is fine. You know, people are still listening. They can see Coochie Kopi in my shirt.
Yeah, I'll adjust it and I'll try and fix everything.
Okay, question? No question?
I don't think so.
Okay, so my wife and I we're talking, and we, you know, we were like talking about some musicians on Kauai and stuff, and she was like, oh, you know, like she's talking about the good ones and the not so good ones, and like, oh, how can they call themselves professional if they, you know, if they're not like that good or whatever. It's my wife talking now. I would never say that. Just threw her under the bus. So, and she's like, you know, what would consider or what would have to happen in order for someone to be considered professional? And I told her, if you get paid to do a job for music and stuff, then you are considered technically a professional, correct? And if you get paid to do anything really, so you know, you would be a professional electrician if you came in. Somebody paid you to like fix someone's, you know, electricity.
Well, I don't know that one. Like you kind of have to be
certification.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know if that one.
Okay. Well, maybe that's not a good example. But you know, in music, really, that's the only qualification, right? Like, you know, you can be called professional if you get paid for playing music.
Yeah.
And then we kind of started going, you know. So I was telling her, she's a photographer. I was like, when's the first time that you got paid to kind of do a job? And she was saying that like she came in and had to do, remember like when we had photographers coming into our school and like taking school pictures and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I guess like she was a helper or whatever, and she got paid for that. I was like, that was the day you became professional, I told her. So I wanted to talk about today, the day that we all became professional. So I think I've talked about mine already. I was at Suyoka's store, and I was playing my ukulele with Rando Jimenez, Kaniho. You guys know him as the tattoo guy on the face tattoo guy on some of the videos, on the play-alongs. But we were jamming, and I remember we were playing Here's a Lay and Opihi Man, those two songs. And some guy came down, and he's like, "Oh, you guys sound great. You know, where's your case?" He's like, "Oh, my case is right here." Opens up my case, puts $5 in there. I was like, "Right on. I am considered a professional musician now." Some guy just gave me money for me playing my ukulele. I mean, not technically, but that's the one that I credit for like the first time I ever made money like playing ukulele.
Yeah. That's not like something where you saved that first.
Yeah, that was okay. So we're next to Suyoka's, and it's like, okay, you know, there's $5 and there's two of us, so we bought a couple of cheeseburgers, and and we had $1, like, you know, it's a little under $2 each, and we had $1 change, $1 and some change. So we ripped the dollar in two. I still have it in my wallet to this day. That was must have been 10th grade. Yeah. It was like 10th grade. We both signed it. Like me and Randall both signed it. We ripped it, and we both kept our half of the dollar.
Was that like, do you know if that was like Randall's first time too? Like,
yeah,
first time?
Yeah, so definitely. Because we were learning together, you know, and like, and we were basically like the same, you know, the same skill level, same everything at that point, and we're just kind of jamming by Suyoka's. So I want to hear you guys' story of the first time you got paid for playing your instrument.
Okay. Well, we're taking turns fixing the camera, and so like the camera is back, but I think Aaron's gonna fix the camera angle.
No. Because I kind of want to tell people that like, you know, if you have an opportunity to get paid playing your ukulele, definitely go for it. If it's fun and stuff, as long as you're not being taken advantage of or anything like that, you know, I think it's good experience. I think it's great for you know, for people who want more, you know, who want to get better at performing in front of people. Like, that's a good motivation. You know, money's a great motivation. It's like, I'll give you $50 to play at my sister's wedding or whatever, and then like just go, and then that'll get you to a mindset. It's like, okay, well, now I gotta prepare. I need all these songs and stuff. This is what I'm gonna be playing. I'm gonna practice this. So there's no better motivator than like, you know, than an event that you gotta do, and another thing on top of that is if you're gonna get paid, because that means you gotta do a good job. You can't just like, you know, like,
events set a deadline, right? Like, you have to be good by this day, or like it's not just like I'll eventually get to learning that song. It's if you're doing a wedding and then the wedding party asks you, can you please play this song for when we walk down it? And you don't know. It's like, well, like, gotta learn that song before they do it. Otherwise, like, I'm gonna mess up or, you know, I don't know. I guess it depends on your level of confidence too, right? Because I think for me, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna learn it. But then for other people, it's like, I'll just wing it on that day. It's like, I guess so, whatever.
Yeah, well, if you do it enough, you know, if you've been a professional musician long enough, like, you can get away with just like, you know, like, I have a gig this Saturday. I'll just look over my songs real quick and then go do it. But that's like,
I think you get better at it.
Yeah,
right?
that's when it becomes second nature to do stuff like that. But so, when is the first time you ever made money? I'll tell my actual story after, because that one is like kind of my kind of story, but I'll tell my actual one afterwards.
For ukulele, the first time I made money for ukulele was here. I've never played
You've never
ukulele
played a gig or anything?
No,
how about music? Just music in general.
So like that I actually think I have is I didn't play music, like get paid to play music, but a couple of times I had to set up sound for different events, and doing that, like, I got, you know, it wasn't a lot, and it was like, oh, you're students who are helping us out, so here is, you know, whatever, and split it between, because I usually did it with my friends or whatever, like, split it between the two of you.
How much was it? You remember? Your first one?
I don't know, maybe like $20, right? Like, it's just like a little bit. And
did you have like a full sound system and stuff, like speakers and whatever?
It wasn't mine. It was we were borrowing like the school, and then it's just like setting it up for whoever or doing whatever.
I thought like they rented like your stuff and you set it up. Like $20, you got ripped off, bro.
Or one of the things I think you guys actually played for like is like a family fun festival at the school. It was at the high school, but it's for the elementary school, and I was actually doing sound for that, and you guys came down and you guys played a little bit.
Do you remember that?
So,
was it me and Aaron, or was it me and Ryan?
I can't remember, and I think it was like you guys just came back from somewhere. So and I was me and my friend were doing the sound, and it's just like us, you know, like doing whatever, and even the guy who lent us the sound system, I don't think he even knew how to use it. So I've used other sound systems before. Did it sound good?
I don't even remember this gig.
Yeah, you guys. Well, I know you guys definitely sounded good because I think it was either you or Aaron or somebody was just like, oh, here, just turn the system around and put it up on stage, and we'll level it ourselves. And I was like, okay, fine, that's fine with me. Like, I don't know what I'm doing, so I'll let you guys do it. I'm just trying to make it
deserve a little bit of that $20, Kai. You owe me like $2.
We'll call it.
Okay, I'll take it off for your $50 that I owe you.
For our stupid bets, right?
Aaron, first time you made money playing ukulele.
Sound that I don't know if it was ukulele.
Yeah, guitar.
Yeah, it was probably guitar because I was like, my cousins and I had a band together, and I started off playing ukulele with them, but then I think we needed some, you know, different
variety.
It was like I think it was just 3 ukuleles.
Chalangs.
And we were just all playing ukulele, and then I learned how to play guitar, and then my cousin Rustin learned how to play bass, and then it became that.
Was that the almost Hawaiian like origin?
Yeah, it was just me, Cody, and Rustin, and then we started hanging out with Alan LLM.
Okay,
so they had a regular gig at Freeborn Music, so it was like a tiny little music shop. And they had like a little stage where you could kind of set up. And
a lot of punk shows were played there.
Oh yeah, cool. Because that's when punk was kind of popular. But so they had a weekly gig there, and they went to our same high school, and they were nice enough. Like we knew about them. We knew that they played every week, and so we would just sit down and watch them. And then they kept saying like, oh, if you just bring your stuff, then you can just kind of jam with us, or like, you know, like you don't have to plug in or anything. You just sit on the side and just play along with us, because that's a good way. Like most of the time there wasn't any audience. It's just somebody roaming the shop. And so we started showing up every week with them, and just like playing in the background.
It's cool.
And then
with Alan.
with them. They would be playing the songs and we would just be following along.
Nice.
And so at some point, like
they paid you guys.
No. At some point, we pretty much knew all their songs, like the chords to all their songs. Okay. And so there was one weekend where Alan said that, I got a gig at the ships come down at Nawili Wili. They dock at Nawili Wili, and they have this kind of stage set up when people come off the ship. And then they usually have Hawaiian performers,
cool. Yeah,
doing their thing, just as people pass by and go on to the shops and go shopping and stuff. But he said he had a gig there, but none of the other band members could make it.
And so you were the backup band.
Yeah, I think Cody, Rustin, and I were the backup band for him because we knew all of his, all the songs that he was playing.
Little did he know that you would someday be Aaron the Voice Nakamura.
Well, he still plays music, so it's not.
Aaron from Pure Mark Ska, right?
Pure Mark Ska.
But yeah, so that was. I remember that was probably. I mean, we didn't make very much money at all.
How much do you remember?
I don't even remember. But I know. I think that was my first ever gig, like actual paid gig. Yeah.
So like kind of the same thing as you. Like you said, you're just playing, right? And then somebody came in like, "Oh, where's your stuff?" I remember some of my friends. You've met Aaron Montemar. Yeah, and so he was doing the Red Cross, like the bell ringing during the holidays, right?
Yeah.
Outside of a store, and he just like we would just talk, and he said like, "Oh yeah, that's what I'm doing, and we're just gonna hang out later if you want to come stop by." I was like, "Okay," and I was like, I have guitars. Like, you want me to bring my guitars, and we can while you're doing that, we can just hang. Because like, I think it was like 10 o'clock in front of Long, and like nobody was 4. There, right? Like, so it's like, okay, yeah, I'll just bring my guitars. I brought it, and then we're just like playing around. We're not even like playing for anybody because there's nobody there. Yeah. And somebody came and was like, "I'll give you guys like $5 if you guys play a song." And so we played something. He's like, "Oh, pretty good," and then he dropped the $5 in and went, So we didn't make any money, but
that was in the. I was gonna say, like, did you guys play it and like split the pot like after you guys are done or something? I
should have. Hey, these are my guitars.
Open up. Army needs those.
I don't know how you open up that red little like metal box, but open it up and give me my money.
Is that why you learned lock picking? Never again.
It might have been.
Never again will Salvation Army take money from me.
That's what they don't know. Every time I act like I put money into that thing, I'm trying to reach my hand in as far as I can. Be like, they owe me some.
Okay, so my actual first one, like official, like that was a gig, because I got paid another time after that, and that's playing as backup band for Larry Rivera. That was So I played backup band for Larry Rivera. I just got a portion of the tips, so I don't really count that either. And but shortly after I joined Ryan's band Makalea, they got a steady gig over at Whalers Brew Pub here on Kauai. It's no longer no longer around, but Whalers Brew Pub, and we played there to empty tables. Basically, we played like in the afternoon, and no one's there at Whalers Brew Pub in the after like 4, 5, and like at in the afternoon, and it's just like, okay, I guess we'll just like jam whatever. And I remember the pay was $150 for the 3 hours, so like $50 an hour, and it was split between 4 guys. So that night I made like 30 something bucks, like $35. So like in high school, it's like, oh my god, I made $35 like that, that night and stuff. And that was also the same afternoon that I met 3+. We were talking about this in the office. Like they had a show on Kauai, and they came down early to just kind of check out the place, Whalers and stuff. So it's like, oh my god, it's 3+. Like, do you guys want to jam with us? It's like, oh, do you guys know any of our songs? Like, we know Honey Baby. You guys want to sing Honey Baby with us? So we did Honey Baby with 3+. And since I was like 14, 15 at the time, playing at a bar, like I couldn't go that night to watch them perform. So I was kind of stoked that they performed with us because now I don't need to go to the concert. That's because they already play with us. I wouldn't
be able to come back to this bar.
Yeah, exactly. And I was probably 15, and that was my first ever like official gig. I was at Whalers Brew Pub, and at my first gig, 3+ came and joined us. Yeah, $35, and I went to Robert's jewelry store and bought my girlfriend something for her birthday. A nice little pendant thing. And I remember Ryan drove me to Robert's because I could not drive at 14. Yeah, so those are our first time we ever made money, and it's been kind of fun since, and I really consider that one with Rana being the first time I ever made money, like playing my ukulele. So that dollar will forever be in my wallet, unless I lose my wallet, and I do that a lot. And I'd be so sad. I'd be so sad. I used to put the dollar inside my ukulele. That's where I put it in my concert Kamaka ukulele, and it kind of got stuck, like right here, like on the inside, like somewhere down here. And then if you guys notice, I had some work done to that concert Kamaka. Like I got it refinished and stuff. So I guess when he was doing the refinish, he actually took off the back, of the ukulele, and then re-glued the whole thing together, because it was that bust up, and he put binding, like afterwards and stuff. So he said that while he was doing my ukulele, this came out of the ukulele. I was like, oh, thank you so much that you got that. He didn't just throw it away. He's like, well, and the guy who did it for me was in the Philippines, same guy, that Lumanog, Emilio Lumanog, and he's like, oh, I thought it was just trash, but I looked closer. It's like, oh, it's green money. Because he's from the Philippines. We would have green money means it's foreigner money. He's like, it's green money. So, I looked at it. It's like, oh, it's not trash. But then I tried to open it up. It didn't open up. It's like, oh, there's just half of $1. And I figured I'd ask you if it was important. I was like, yes, thank you so much. And I think I gave him an extra 50 pesos, which is $1. Here's an extra 50 pesos. I think that the Lumanog uke, I bought that for me $300, equivalent to Filipino money. Gotta bring that back in one of these days.
You should frame that half dollar, like how Mr. Krabs frames his first dollar. I know people always post that online. They're like, "Look, I framed my first dollar," and then it looks like Mr. Krabs' first dollar.
Oh yeah, I do. I should really take care of it and stuff, because I can't believe I still have it. I can't believe it lasted this long. I lose everything except for that for some reason. That has always kind of stayed with me.
I think my sister, hopefully she doesn't get mad at me for saying this. I think she might still have, it's $5 or a couple dollars or something from Ben Stiller.
Oh yeah?
Because we had a booth, selling shave ice, and he came, and of course she recognized him, and she sold him the shave ice, gave it to him, and then he walked away, and my sister played it cool, and as soon as he walked away, she was like, oh my gosh, and she dug for that, and she pulled it out, and she's like, Dad, I'm gonna take this. And my dad's like,
Ben Stiller's
why?
$5.
Why? And not I don't think it was signed or anything. Yeah. It's just she's like, oh, this is from Ben Stiller. Gonna keep this.
This smells like rich person money. And this $5 smells different.
He and I think he was walking around with his family, so he had his kids.
Yeah.
And his
how old was she?
Or she was in high school. And it might have been her senior year or something, but I think she was definitely still here, and she was in high school. And one of his kids left something on our table, that we use as the front cashier table.
Yeah.
And so she took it, and I think it was her and her friend, and they're like, no, you go give it back to him. No, you go give it back to him. And so it's just she ran, and she's like, you left this here, and then she gave it back, and she came back. She's like, I was so nervous. Yeah.
Yeah. So, is there any questions from the chat or anything like that?
Yeah. John asks, can you briefly discuss the characteristics of action on ukuleles? Is the action generally better on the more expensive or higher quality ukuleles?
Okay, so let's answer that last part of that question first. So, as far as expensive ukes goes, if they're expensive ukes, most likely the setup is part of that price that you're paying for. Say for example, you go to Kanilea, you go to Kamaka or anything like that, they they will set it up. Like that's the last part before, at least with Kanilea that I know of, before they send it out, they do the final setup. With there's, I believe his name's Kaleo. Like he'll dress the frets. He'll make sure everything's clean. He has like this little like powered like wind thing. Like make sure there's no dust and stuff. Like that's all part of it, and making sure that the action is is nice and perfect. So that's part of the final setup. So that's why like higher end ukuleles will have better better feel. I mean, it might not be as low as people might want it. Might not be as high as people might want it, but it is like just the standard. Yeah. As opposed to say getting one from like getting a economy ukulele from China or anything like that, if they don't do the final setup from wherever the distribution is, say for example you order one from Hawaii Music Supply, they'll set it up for you, so when they send the ukulele over, it's nice and set up and stuff. But in some places they don't really have as good quality control as a place, say like Hawaii Music Supply. It might not be good as far as the dressing of the frets and the action. So so for that last part, they do make a big difference on the higher end ukuleles, because those are more than likely guaranteed that it was set up, and even more so at the factory itself before it gets sent out. Now for the characteristics of high versus low, we've talked about this before as well, but briefly,
so like when you're talking about action, you're talking about like the string height,
height, versus like how close it is to the to the fret, so the string, like the height of the string.
So the distance between the fretboard or the fret itself and the string. Sometimes some people like it farther away, and some people like it really close. And so I guess his question is about like what is optimal, or what is he?
Yeah, well, it just depends, with what you're going for. Like you're definitely gonna have an easier time like fretting stuff and and doing chords and a lower action. So a lot of people like low action because it's it doesn't take that much to hold chords down, because the string is closer to the fretboard already. So your fingers just kind of glide through it. I like a low action myself. Higher action will give you a better tone, in a sense, because it is higher from the higher from the fretboard, which means it has a lot of room to vibrate, for the string to vibrate. Whereas if it's closer to the it's closer to your frets, then it won't have as much room to vibrate. So if you kind of strum it loud, it's gonna it's gonna hit against the against the fret wires, and that's gonna it's gonna affect the sound, as opposed to if it was higher, then it's not gonna hit as much. So you might get longer sustain, you might get a bigger attack, so on and so forth. So it's kind of a give and take, but it's going to be harder to fret your ukulele because it is higher. So there's a little bit more effort in putting press down harder
in order for it to even touch the fret.
So it is a give and take if you want to play it easier, or if you want it to sound better. So you kind of have to see if you can go with that happy medium, but most people go with a lower action, so that they can play easier. I mean, some of the professionals I've played, James Hill's uke, it's pretty low. It's not as low as say someone like Jake's. Jake's is pretty low. Calais is pretty low. I don't actually know too much people with high action, unless you're someone like Jason Arimoto, who will like purposely like raise their action
for slide
ukulele. Yeah. So it's things like that, like it just depends on what you're trying to do with the ukulele. There are ways to raise and lower it, but some of those ways require professionals to kind of step in and do it for you.
So and then you end up running into problems if it's too high or too low.
Yeah, so if it's too low, you might run into the problems of buzzing. Yeah, if it's too high, you might run into the problems of intonation, because if it's too high, then you're kind of pressing it down. So if you think about it, you're kind of cutting that string down like this, so it might play a little bit sharp, you're gonna run into more
or you're like bending.
Because you're bending it
kind of
down, right? You're pushing it down. And another one would be, it's gonna take a little bit more effort to play your ukulele.
Yeah. So the Hawaii Music Supply guys say that if you were usually when they do setups, their action, if you measure on the 12th fret, from the top of the fret or like the surface of the fret to the string itself, should be like 2.5 to 3 millimeters.
Okay, that's standard.
It's that. So if it's less than 2.5, it might be a little too low, and if it's more than 3 millimeters, then it might be a little bit too high. And so there are different ways that luthiers or people who do setups like that, different methods to lower the action or make the action higher. And you can look online to see how they actually do. Like there are different methods to achieve either.
I believe Jake recently, like within the past, I don't know, maybe 5-6 years, have been working with a higher action. But I remember in the beginning, when I had a little bit more access to his ukulele, like it was kind of low. But looking at it now, like his saddle is pretty high.
Yeah. And that's for volume purposes.
Yeah. So that, just looking at that makes me think that like it might have gone up, through the years as he's kind of like honing in on his craft and perfecting the sound that he wants. And I guess everyone's gonna change their tone too.
I think the common misconception too is that lower action will just make it easier to play. Like, straightforward, that's like lower action equals easier to play. But there is like other factors too that like people might not consider, like the tension of your string itself. Like if you're using high tension strings, even if you lower the action, it's still gonna feel tight. And some people equate that to like being like, oh, it's so hard to play and press down and it feels difficult. And so there's like a lot, and it definitely is. Like if you can talk to whoever's setting up your ukulele, or like if you have your ukulele already set up and you want it adjusted, like if it's something you can have a conversation with the person who's gonna adjust it for you, right? And explain like what you're looking for, what you want. So if you do want it to be like lower, to be easier to play, just kind of like talk to them.
Let them know.
And
they can. I mean, I think they really like just take up like fractions of a millimeter, like inside, like underneath, if they're gonna shave some stuff off on your saddle. So kind of just like play it, see if it how it works. They can go down lower if you want. They can add stuff if you want it to be higher. If it's too low.
So actually kind of going back to what he was saying at the beginning, where high end ukes versus low end ukes, you can take like a low end uke and still like kind of optimize the action. And so that's kind of what a lot of sellers do. If they advertise that they do a setup before they ship it out to you, it's usually like you could buy,
it's part of it.
You could buy a low end uke or a cheaper ukulele from them, and they're still gonna do the same thing that they would do to a high end setup.
I mean, what I was talking about in the beginning is just like they get sent out from the factory, like already kind of set up, because like not everyone. I mean, we talk about like Hawaii Music Supply. Of course, they do. They do setups and stuff. They're like one of the biggest like distributors in ukulele in Hawaii. But then some people don't do the quality control work, and just like whatever we get from Kala or whatever we get from Kanilea, like just what's gonna go out. So Kanilea would be set up already, whereas the Kalas wouldn't be.
It's not like a. I don't want to say like all of them do this, but like if you go to like a big chain like Guitar Center, right? Like it's probably less likely that they're gonna like
set up all those.
Yeah, they're gonna take it out of the box and be like, oh, we got to make sure that the intonation is perfectly correct on all of these, or even checking first before putting them on the wall. Like it's less likely for them to do that. And not to say that it's not going to be good, or that there might not be shops that would do it, but a good way is to just like check for yourself. Like you pick it up and feel like, oh, this ukulele feels like it hasn't been set up, or it could use some adjustments. And if that's the case, you can ask them, or you can like kind of like be like, oh, maybe I'll skip on this one, find one that has already had adjustments or set up.
big chains like that, it really pays to like go to the actual place, feel it out. I mean, with any ukulele, it's good to just feel out the uke that you're gonna buy, so that you know exactly what it's like. Because when you're ordering something from online, you're just like, well, I trust these guys, like I trust Hawaii Music Supply that they're gonna set it up, correctly. So when I get it, it's going to be the right setup. But it's not always gonna happen.
But I think like even for us, right, like ukuleles and instruments are so personal that it's like, if you can, it really is like the best to have it in your hand and play it and get a feel for it, because like I don't know, it's probably works fine. Like people have ordered online and they've been super happy with their ukuleles. But just for me, and like, it's like I really even if you tell me like, oh, these are all the specs, it's like I just want to hold it and try it out for myself.
Yeah, I mean, there's like, just like last night when we were at our gig and stuff, there's this lady that came up to us and said like, oh, I bought this like perfect uke for myself or whatever. Like she was like, really ecstatic about it. We're just like, because we deal with so much ukes, like our line of questioning is like, what brand was it? What like, size and this and this and that. But to this lady, it's like, no, just like as soon as I heard it, it was like the perfect sound that I was looking for in ukulele. So I bought it right away. I didn't even care what the brand was or the size or whatever. This is like the uke that I fell in love with. And it's like a beautiful story. And it's like, oh man, that's when you know that like, and even Mike said it, that's when you know it's the perfect one for you. It doesn't matter, like what the price is, what the, whatever. If you can afford it, if that's the sound that you've been looking for, that's the perfect uke for you.
One of the first guitars that I ever bought, like I was playing guitars, and there's a cheaper Taylor guitar that I picked up, and I played it. I'm like, oh, I like this. Yeah. And I picked up like one that I had my eye on, like a cutaway, and it was like nicer, more expensive. I played that. I'm like, And my mom said, Kai, if that cheaper guitar was sold now, like if somebody else came and picked it up and they bought it right now and you didn't, would you be sad? And I was like, oh yeah, I gotta get that guitar. Like that would make me
right, Bob. I need to buy both of them.
It was like, but it was kind of just that thing where it's like, I would be sad. I would be bummed if I didn't have that guitar. Like,
it's beautiful.
I love that guitar so much that it's like, and that is like still one of my favorite guitars. I still have it.
You're right, Mom. That guitar's gonna need a friend.
Well, since then it's had several friends. I've had several. Like I've gotten it several friends.
Okay. Is there any other last minute questions before we go?
Well, okay, we'll try to answer this. K-Dog asks, would you recommend having a pickup installed if buying a high-end ukulele?
Depends on who's installing it for you. Also depends on what you're using it for.
Yeah. If you don't need a pickup, don't get a pickup.
Yeah, don't. So, if you don't like, if you don't gig, if you don't go out and like and plug in your ukulele like to speakers and stuff, don't. I would not suggest it. Same thing as my suggestions for the strap pegs and stuff. Don't poke holes in your ukulele unless you need some. But if you are gigging, it is almost like a necessity. Like you kind of have to, because I guess it does work to just put a microphone on your ukulele, but you're kind of just stuck there on your chair, like as you play uke. So getting a plug-in is going to be a good idea. So that just depends if you're playing professionally, or if you play on stage or not. Also depends on the person doing it, if they kind of know how to install ukulele pickups, because that can go very wrong very fast.
I think some people ask too because they're curious about like plugging their uke into an amp, or having that capability of like plugging it in, and if they might record, right, like plugging it in to a DI or plugging it into an audio interface themselves too. But yeah, it kind of is like it is something that you should question if you need it, if you're curious about it. It's like don't write it off right away, but like take into consideration, because it is gonna probably be an added cost to your already expensive ukulele if you're gonna get it, and then it is like kind of changing the sound of the ukulele. So
okay,
not always for the better. Most likely not for the better.
Okay, so before we go, I'm going to finalize the contest. I almost forgot about it already, but so this is what you're going to win. For the contests, I'm going to be giving away an Ola Ka'aina CD. Of course, we talked about this. I will be including a Eat Sleep Music Session CD. It's from the K-Town Heroes. Ryan and I did this CD a while back. It has songs like Body Surfing, Europa, Brown Eyed Girl, Breezin', Sunday Morning. It has all those classics in this CD. It's no longer available anywhere. We just found a few of them, and we wanted to give them away. And who better to give them away to than all you awesome UU Plus subscribers. This is also an Aldi Club button. I'm going to be adding one of these and a sticker. These are kind of highly sought after now. Like, I've been getting all these people are like, oh, if I send you something, would you send me one of those? It's so I'm gonna get one of these buttons and one of sticker. Maybe I'll double it. I'll get 2 of these buttons and 2 stickers plus these 2 CDs. All you gotta do is email us, and the email is right there in front of you right now. Contests with an S at ukuleleunderground.com. Don't forget the S in the contests. So contests at ukuleleunderground.com. All you gotta do is send us an email, with the subject heading, let's see, Ola Ka'aina. Yeah, Ola Ka'aina. OLAKAAINA. OLA, Ola, then KA, Ka, AINA, Aina, Ola Ka'aina. That is the subject heading. And just tell us about your first experience, if you've ever made money playing the ukulele. If not, tell us your first ever experience playing in front of people in general, even though if you didn't get paid for it or whatever. If it was just in front of your your spouse, in front of your friends, in front of your family, if it was a birthday thing or whatever, tell us about that. We want to hear your stories. We shared ours, so we want you guys to share yours, and we'll pick a random one, from our randomizer and stuff, and we'll give away this awesome little prize pack of CDs, buttons, and stickers. Yeah?
Yep.
Okay, so there it is. Let's give you guys till, I don't know. We leave in a little bit, right? Maybe 1 week?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then
when will the replay for this go up?
Tomorrow, probably.
Okay.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's gonna go up on YouTube probably next week.
Okay.
So before we get flooded with people from YouTube, maybe.
So Thursday, next week Thursday, we're gonna pull a name, and chances are actually pretty high because as far as live goes, as far as people watching this goes, it's only available to the UU Plus people. So your chances are pretty high. It's not like we're gonna get 50 or 100 entries and stuff. So if you enter, chances are pretty high when winning. Okay. So that's once again Ola Ka'aina CD. This is Kanile's ukulele CD. This is not out yet, so this is an opportunity for you to get your hands on one of these awesome CDs featuring For You by Carly G. Eat Sleep Music Sessions featuring us on Body Surfing, and buttons and stickers for Aldi Club. Okay, so subject heading Ola Ka'aina, and tell us about your first experience getting paid to play music or your first experience playing in front of people. Okay? Anything you guys want to add on?
No, I think that's it.
Oh yeah, don't forget here, flash that number once again. So don't forget, you guys can call us, leave us a message over on our voicemail. So that's kind of a new thing. Here it is. So call in your questions to 650-761-0989 and leave a message. We're going to be playing those messages on air. So yeah, just please keep that in mind. Yeah, please be PG-13.
If you guys do want your questions answered, just know that we might play them back.
Yeah, that we might play them back. So just keep that in mind. We tried everything to kind of get you guys involved with the show. So this is a kind of a cool way to get on the show if you've ever wanted to be on the show. So yeah, leave us a message over at 651-761-0989.
Yeah. Oh, and if we wouldn't be able to, but leave your what you want to be called, I guess.
Yeah, This is whatever. This is Pizza Cutter.
Yeah, you can leave your username or
from wherever. It's Pizza Cutter from Kailua. I wanted to ask, what is Kahai's shirt size?
What if we get
I don't know. You can ask anything too. So
we're gonna get a bunch of pizza cutters from they're all gonna sound different. And oh man.
But yeah, so that's new. Of course, you can always send in your questions to us over on our email, over at Ukulele Underground Plus, over on the UU Plus forums, and plenty other ways on the side of the street. You can just be like, hey, what's a good set of strings or something? You know, you can always
maybe not questions. On the side of the street.
Maybe not Kahai. Don't approach Kahai.
No, it's not that.
It's unhuggable.
Yes.
I've tried.
I'm not unbreakable. I'm not Kimmy Schmidt.
Spikes come out like a hedgehog. But yeah, so thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you guys so much for downloading this over as a podcast. Thanks for watching. For all you UU Plus subscribers, if you have not checked out Ukulele Underground, please check out Ukulele Underground to learn how to play the ukulele and sign up for UU Plus to take your ukulele playing to the next level. Stay tuned for Songs Made Easy. We are going to be doing a classic, Happy Birthday. I can't believe we've never taught that song as a normal, like, just strumming lesson. We did a fancy schmancy chord melody version of that song, but we've never done it. I figured it's perfect because it'll kind of teach us to do a 3/4 time, and in this song. And next week we're gonna have Alicia Keys' Fallen, which is also in 3/4. So it's a good kind of intro to 3/4 time. Okay, guys, we'll see you folks later. Have a great one. Aloha.